Liz said, I'm Jerod Nieder. I'm with Positively Paralyzed. That's my kind of online profile that I've come up with to help promote disability awareness and inclusion and workouts for people like us and stuff like that. So the idea for this round of classes is that I have a playlist for us, and the goal is we will stretch with the first song and we'll stretch with the last song. But then with every song, we're going to get a workout in, and then we have a 1 minute break in between every song. And in that break, we'll get our water, catch our breath, and then we'll talk a little bit about nutrition and stuff in the breaks. So that's kind of the idea for the format. If you guys hate it, tell me. If you like it, tell me, and let's just figure out what works for us moving forward. So Lacey, if you don't mind starting the music, we're going to start stretching. And how I like to start stretching is as she gets the music going, we'll just start punching. And this is nice and light. We're just getting things warmed up. Try to feel that in range. Bring your fist all the way back, extend it all the way forward, but we're not snapping our arms, no jerky movements. Let's try to twist the core a little bit, nice and gentle. Now the deal with this class is you guys are kind of responsible for doing the moves that work for you. We all function very differently, but we want to get a good workout in. So you can grade it up and work harder. You can slow it down if that's what's appropriate for you, but just challenging yourself to get a good workout in. Now in this first one here, like I said, we're just stretching, but as we progress through the other ones, make sure you're doing it to your ability level and your comfort level. All right, let's stretch that out a little bit, shake that out. Now I want you to have a big exhale and lean forward. The goal is to stretch the lower back. And, like I said, if this doesn't work for you, you just stretch something that does work for you. We're all going to be in charge of adapting this for ourselves. But big exhale, reaching down, trying to squeeze that chest to your knees. All right, when you come up nice and slow. We don't want to get lightheaded or anything. Now let's stretch up. That always causes a little spasm for me. You see my knees kick up here? Ooh. Just kind of wait the spasm out. All right, let's take our right arm, bring it across the front. Try to hold for about 10 seconds, give or take. All right, switch. All right, this next one's a little challenging. I got to tilt back a little bit so I have the core stability, but I like to get my arm over my head. Then I pull it with my left to add a little stretch. All right, switch. All right. Now I like to get a little stretch in my wrist. So how I do it is I grab my elbow with my wrist and I push against it with my chin. Just kind of get a little stretch there. My wrist gets real tight. Then I'm going to get the other one, and we're on our break here. And if you need the break, take the break, get your water. If you don't, that's fine. This is all about you and what works for you. I'm going to definitely get some water before we start amping up the workout. But like I said, there'll be 60 seconds in between every song. Another thing that's really important is I kind of slide around a lot, especially with the more exaggerated movements. Make sure you get your butt recentered and you're safely in your chair. Depending on the day, sometimes I wear my seatbelt just to keep me planted. But it's whatever's appropriate for you. Maybe you need it, maybe you don't, but just make sure you're being safe. So, all right. Getting all limbered up. And we're going to talk about nutrition when we have time today. I'm sure the music's going to start any second. But nutrition is something that's super, super important, especially following injury. I myself really believe in high protein and lower calorie. And there we go. So we're going to get going with some punches. With the beat seems to be appropriate for me. Trying to be with the beat anyway. I got no rhythm. All right. For my power chair, I like to tilt it back just a little bit, and then I'm going to open up the back to give me a little bit more movement with my core. But we're going to go all the way back and then bring it forward and try to bring your chest down to your knees. So trunk extension into a crunch. I'm just trying to work this back and forth. And I use my arms as a counterweight. And when I come back, I bring my elbows back to help activate my erectors. But then when you get this going, let's try to add some punches. Challenge that core. It's really hard for me to get those punches out when I lean forward, and that's what I'm going for, is that challenge. And when I lean forward, it throws me off my balance to throw that punch, so I got to jerk it back, try to get upright. I know it's not pretty. I know it's not pretty, but I'm working my butt off. All right, now that we got this going, both arms forward. Both arms forward and hitting your toes. Got to get my AirPod back in there. So we're stretching down to the toes, and then we're coming up. And I don't want to lie to you, I'm not hitting my toes, but I'm touching my ankles every time. All right, now when you come up, let's add a press. So we're reaching down to the toes, and then we're coming back up to press. All right, really reaching for the sky, trying to get that posture good, and then we're back down to the toes. It's always worth it to try to slow your movements down and focus more on isolating your muscles. I know the way I function, I really rely on throwing my arms and my head around as a pendulum to get a lot of this done, but it's also good to stop and assess what you can do without that and try to supplement that with real muscle movement. You know, we've talked about it before in these classes, but this is just a run what you brung situation. You know, my dad was a gearhead growing up, and there were these races where it was an open class. Whatever you brought, you could race it. And that's what this class is. Whatever you're bringing to life, you get to race it in this class and see how you can make your body function. Back to some punching. I don't know about you guys, but the sun's hitting me, and I got a nice sweat going. punching up. Back to punching out. Try to speed it up. All right, take a break. Now really take this minute to get a break, get water, get repositioned. Now, if you don't need it, if you want to burn through 45 minutes straight through, that's all on you. Go for it. I encourage that. But if you need a break, I know there's a lot of people that prefer the more interval type setup, and so that's what we're going with. Now, true interval training is really intense for shorter and then real short breaks. So this is kind of a hybrid high intensity interval training that we're doing here, but we're going to get the workout with the music and then kind of regroup when we have the breaks. We were talking about nutrition a little bit before, and I just got to say, it's so disappointing to me how little I have to eat to avoid losing weight. And over the holidays, I definitely was not that great about it. But nutrition with spinal cord injury is something that I've definitely struggled with, and I'm down 50 pounds from my highest point with a spinal cord injury, and that was challenging. I'll tell you that. All right, we're going to focus on our arms here, so let's get right in the middle. And I like to use the screen in front of me to try to keep my arm moving up and down straight. Doing arm raises. And now this one is particularly challenging for me. I'm nursing a shoulder injury on this left side. So, my transfers into bed have been just really challenging. And I'm trying to find that sweet spot of where I can start rehabbing it without causing more damage. Let's switch. Now, kind of the rule that I've adopted in my younger years, I was all about playing through the pain. But anymore, it takes me too long to recover. And if it hurts, that's my body telling me to stop. Now, there's certain occasions that I'll have a therapist that'll let me know that, hey, this is going to hurt and you're going to have to work through that. And that's a different situation. But for this class, and unless you have like special clearance from a PT or a doctor, let's avoid anything that hurts. It takes us too long to recover, and let's not cause more damage. We're trying to build ourselves up. All right. Arms out beside you. Delt raises. And remember, if you can go faster, that's up to you. If you're strong enough to where you can hold weights doing this, that's great. If you don't have weights, water bottles are a great option. We all have plastic trash bags or Dillon's sacks or Kroger. I'm sorry. It's Dillon's where I'm from in Kansas, but it's Kroger here, even though they're owned by the same person. But yeah, everybody's got a grocery sack that you can put a couple things in that makes it tougher to lift. All this adaptive equipment is so expensive, but we can find ways around it. All right, now let's bend at the elbows, and let's keep that movement with our arms bent at the elbows. All right, now we're putting arms down next to us, and what I'm doing is I'm trying to raise them behind me. Now really being mindful that this is not causing any pain, and we're going nice and slow. But we're doing those, trying to get our wrist away from our butt. Raising those arms behind us. This is one of those where I really don't feel like I'm very good at it. And I've really tried to trick my mind into liking the exercises that in my mind, I tell myself that I suck at them. And I know that's not great verbiage to use for ourselves. But, I try to like the exercises that I suck at, because if I suck at it, all that's telling me is that I haven't tried enough of it, and I need to get my body used to that movement and get stronger and better at it. So anytime you find something that you're not good at, just look at that as an opportunity that you have just found this muscle that you have not worked yet, and now is your chance to really get it stronger. So, sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. Back to punching. But I really do try to look at it as a good thing when I find a muscle that's super weak. All right, let's shake that out. Get some more water. You know, one thing that's really important is hydration. And something that I've had to really learn is that when the air is dry, when there's no humidity in the air, that really sucks the water out of your body too. So in these winter months, you know, we always think about hydrating in the summer when it's warm, and that's important when you're sweating and losing water that way, of course. But the dry air really pulls it out of you in the winter, and you really need to replace it just as much this time of year. Mm. Whew. And sometimes I do great with my water, and other times I just really struggle. I've been needing a little flavor enhancement to get me to drink my water like I should. I don't know if you guys like to add a little flavor to yours, but a lot of the stuff we have is like these packets, and I got to get scissors, and I suck with scissors and getting them open. Um, all right, here we go. Back to work. Let's work that core, starting with the abs, back and forth. And I'm going to have to reset my leg here, but you keep working the core. All right. But yeah, working that back and forth. But recently I've ordered some of these. Yes, ma'am. You bet. Hey, thanks for joining. And what we're doing here is we're working together while the music's playing. And then in between every song, we have 1 minute of break where we're getting our water and we're chatting a little bit, repositioning in our chairs and whatnot. But while the music's playing, and each workout bout is only going for one song, we really want to try to give it our all and really work hard while the music's playing. All these exercises, you're doing it at whatever pace is comfortable for you. You're always more than welcome to take a break whenever you need it, or you can work through the breaks if you don't need a break. You can grade things up with weights, however you like. You know, you can use water bottles and stuff like that. But that's kind of the general gist of things for today. And just chime in the comments if you have any more questions. All right, let's get upright. Let's shake that out. Now we're going to work it down to the side. Just one side. I'm doing my right to start. All right, and this is like we dropped something on the ground. We're trying to pick it up. Probably the thing I drop the most is my phone. You know, I always have my phone on my lap, and then I'm using it to record this right now, but I have a loop on my phone, so when I drop it, I can lean over and pick, you know, slide my thumb through that loop to pick it up. Let's switch to the left side. You know, if it's appropriate for you, you know, I'm going to the left here, put a weight in that left hand to challenge yourself getting up and down. But having some more range of motion and strength in this plane will lead to a lot of independence. It's, you know, it's challenging for me to get stuff off the ground, but I can do it. And that really is a game changer. As much as I hate the word game changer, everybody says things are game changers. All right, let's get some more water. Good work, guys. Keep it up. That was number 4 of 10. So I got the workouts and everything on a laptop right here, just barely out of screen, so you might see me glancing at that. But yeah, I really encourage you to get water every break. Make sure you don't get waterlogged. You know, you don't need to chug, but let's get a little bit and make sure we're staying nice and hydrated. We're talking about, you know, high protein, definitely something I'm all about. I have these protein shakes that I love. They have 30 grams of protein, 2 grams of sugar, and 150 calories. It's the Fairlife nutrition plan, and I like the chocolate ones, but that's 30 grams of protein and 150 calories. I throw one of those in my black coffee every morning. I have these little cured pods that are 70 calorie hot chocolate, and I throw one of those chocolate milk in with the hot chocolate. All right, let's get back to work. Some more punches. But I start my day off with a coffee, and then when I get home from work after being outside, if I have a hot chocolate, bam, I've got 60 grams of protein for the day already. And I weigh 175, right around there, and I'm trying to get at least 175 grams of protein. So that's a big part of the journey. And there's a lot of people I know that have different diets that they believe in. And I really think there's a lot of different diets that'll work for a lot of different people. It's whatever you can stick with and be dedicated to. So I'm telling you what has worked for me, but there's a lot of things that might work for you. And if you don't know what works for you, maybe try what works for me, but try something. Switch to punching up. I think the main thing in life and overall is just take an assessment of where you're at. And if you're not happy with something, let's make a change, and maybe it'll work and maybe it won't, but we got to try. All right, back to punching out. All right, let's punch to the side. All right, presses. Trying to keep my core upright. So this is really challenging for me. I have to go slow. If you guys are better at this, maybe you're just banging these out real fast reps. Great for you. Keep that up. I encourage that. If you got to go slower like me, we're doing whatever we can. My shoulders are burning. All right. Right here in the middle, trying to keep that arm straight up and down. Switch. And I was in high school in the late 90s. And this hip hop group, Jurassic 5, J5, man, we thought they were so cool. All right, back to some punches. All right, you can really kind of lose yourself in these punches because we're going to punch it out till this song's over. Try to push yourself. Twisting that core. Working my chest left to right. Get to feeling a little cool with the music sometimes. All right, way to go. All right, another break here. And everything we're doing, all of us function differently. We have different muscles that work and different things. But what counts is that we're moving. And if you're moving, you're burning calories and you're getting better. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to stay moving together. I know if I didn't have you guys sitting here with me, I wouldn't get this done. And that's why I like this class, is that we motivate each other to get something done that we wouldn't get done otherwise. If you guys are the kind of people that would be working your butt off in your living room right now without us, good for you. Keep coming though, because we need that energy. Keep motivating us to keep this going, and we're going to get better together. So if you don't need us, we need you. Should be just about ready to get back going. Hope everybody's ready for the next round. Going to try to focus on the back extensors a little more with this one. So we'll go ahead and get into position. I'm going to flatten my chair out a little more because I'm going to start with my chest on my knees, and then the focus is going to be coming up to begin with. So as I exhale, I kind of flatten my belly out a little bit, and then really using these shoulders and these elbows to bring it together, getting upright. And if you need to push off your lap, do that to help get up. Sometimes that's how I do it, and sometimes I'm feeling a little spry, and right now I got enough happening in my back to get up. I had to fix a spasm there and adjust my chair a little bit. Using your arms if you need it. Exhaling on the way down, getting flat, and then popping up. All right, and this is kind of like an explosive drill. We want to get set and then bam. And that's me trying to come up as fast as I can. You know, if you have more function, you're going to come up quicker. But that's what I'm going for is pop. Trying that pop explosion up, but not so much that you pull a muscle. I know it's a fine line. Really try to lead with your head. You know, look up, bring that head back, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Do the walk of life. And I apologize if it gets a little repetitive, but that's what our muscles need. And these type of muscles, these extensors that just hold our posture all day, it takes a lot to challenge them. Now, when you come up, a lot of times, I call it short stroking it. I'm not finishing. I need to get all the way upright and looking up. Try to control it as you're coming down. And then get ready and pop that up. Ooh, I'm going to have to start using my arms here in a second. I almost didn't have that one. No. Keep working those extensors. Flattening that belly down and popping up. All right, let's go into some press. So when I do this press, I feel it between my shoulder blades in the same spot. I feel it when I'm trying to set myself up. And so I'm trying to really challenge that muscle group. All right, let's get our arms out like this. You can have them all the way out if you want. Twisting that core. I'm trying to point my elbow at the camera, but I don't quite have the function to get all the way there yet. Really trying to twist around. All right, shake that out. Let's get some more water. Reposition your butt in your chair. Make sure you're in a good position. Good thing I filled my water up. I am sucking through it. All right, next. One thing that I've really struggled with is I've really tried to do low carbs for my diet. And my wife is the complete opposite. She operates on carbs, and it works for her. You know, she's thin and in shape, and different diets work for different people. But for me, I got to stay away from the carbs, or I really seem to pack on the pounds. But what's challenging is I would find myself, well, I call it crashing in my workouts, and I didn't know if it was blood pressure or I didn't know if I was coming down with diabetes. I really didn't know if it was blood sugar. I didn't know what the issue was, and it was just the fact that I was concentrating so on low carbs, I didn't have enough energy on deck, and that's why I was crashing. So while low carbs does work for my diet, you got to have a fuel source to get going. And people do keto, and that works. Like I said, I'm not trying to naysay any diet, but this is something I ran into that was a challenge for me. And then so sometimes I'll give myself a little carb or something, like half a candy bar before a workout, just to make sure I have the fuel to get through it. Okay, we're going to get back to twisting. No. All right, we're going to add a punch. And when you're punching with the opposite arm, jerk that elbow back. Really trying to twist that core. Keep going. Right arm punching left, left arm punching right, trying to engage that core, get a twist in. Wake those obliques up. And you guys keep going. My blood pressure is getting high, like maybe my catheter is kinked, so I'm going to have to check that. And that was it. Look at all that slack we have on that suprapubic tube now. Okay. All right. Never know if the workout is sweat induced or AD induced. The mystery of quadriplegia. All right. All right. Punching up, alternating. All right. Right arm only. And we're going to lean to the left, up to the right. Lean to the left, up to the right. Lean to the left, up to the right. All right, switch. Got to adjust my positioning. Yeah, my butt got a little scooted back. All right. All right. Punching. All right, shake that out. Good job, everybody. That was the 7th song. We only have 3 more to go. So if you have a lot of energy when the song starts, really try to give it some hell. This is the time to burn it out. And if you're still doing good, you can keep moving right now. I'm getting tired, I'll be honest. And even though I've been really good about my workout regimen outside of this class recently, I noticed that after not doing the class for a couple weeks, it's a little more challenging. So it's good to get back in this. I should have been checking out the YouTube version, keeping my strength up. But make sure you guys are getting repositioned. You're in a safe position in your chair, wiping that sweat off your brow, making sure your catheter isn't kinked. And then we'll get rolling with some more exercise. I know sometimes a minute seems like a long break, and sometimes a minute seems like a short break. Well, and that's my wife getting home from work. All right, here we go. Let's work that core. We're working back and forth. Punch left, punch right. Really trying to punch way out in front of you. Reaching with both hands and back. Both hands out, coming back. Reaching forward and then really setting those shoulder blades, bringing those elbows back to come up. Now, this is my favorite functional exercise because this is how I get food on and off the counter. Lean forward with the plate, come back, get it to my lap. And that's all I think about when we're doing this one here. This is what's getting me that snack. And I know all the research says do not reward yourself with food. That is not a good habit to be in. Well, you're just going to have to do as I say and not as I do, because I reward myself with food on the daily. And I recognize it's not the best habit, but I control it. All right, keep it up. Really challenging, trying to squeeze that ab down. You know, I don't technically have abs, but I'm trying to activate them. I'm trying to engage them and get my chest down, and then using those back extensors to explode up. All right, back upright. Let's twist that core. All right, keep it up. All right, working it side to side. Oh, we'll pick that up with the next song. Shaking out, getting a break, getting some more water. Whew, I'm progressively getting more winded. I guess that's the idea, right? All right. Okay. How are we doing here? All right. You know, one thing that I do think is possible, and it's important to be realistic, but I incorporate fast food, and I feel like I have a relatively healthy nutrition style. You know, it's all about limiting your calories and doing what works for you. But, you know, several times a week, there is a McDonald's right next to the CFW gym here in Louisville. And I very often, I go get a double cheeseburger, and it's buy one, get one free on the app. So, you know, I think they're around 400 calories per burger, and right around 25 grams of protein. Okay, back. We were going down to the right and down to the left. You know, so that is a little high on the calories, but the protein content is good for what you get at most places. And I don't get a soda or fries. And, you know, for under $4, I can get over 40 grams of protein and get a lunch on the go. So, you know, it's all about knowing how your body responds to the food and knowing what works for you. The only way you're going to know is to try, is to, you know, mess around and find out, as they say. But I went on a journey for a long time where I downloaded MyFitnessPal, and I just tracked everything that I ate. And it's not just about tracking the good stuff. It's about tracking the bad stuff and the stuff that you really love. So you know what is in the food that you're eating. And then you can understand the impact that it has on your body. You know, but before I had this injury, I knew nothing about nutrition, and I didn't have to. You know, I ate whatever and my body did fine. Let's shake that out. Back to some punches. But, you know, it's our bodies are completely different. You know, for those that have injuries, you know, those that were born with it, it's a different scenario. but it's all about learning your body. Whether your body has changed or it's just always been different from most people, it's all about going on a journey of self-discovery and understanding your body and how it works for you. All right, flapping our arms. But I really do encourage you, if you're interested in nutrition, just download an app that tracks your food. You have to input it and you have to search it. And it's kind of hard at first, but it remembers the foods that you eat. And most of us are creatures of habit. And once you do it for about 2 weeks, 99% of the food that you eat is going to already be preloaded in the app. And it's just going to let you know the calories you're taking in, the fat, the fiber, the protein, and what works for you and what makes you feel good and what makes you perform. And, it's kind of wild that we, that should be like standard part of education. Whew. All right, punching. Man, my shoulders are tired. All right. Working that core back and forth. All right, reaching down to the toes and back up to the sky. Really blow it out. Give it all you got. Keep pushing it. As you guys will come to understand, this is one of my favorite moves. This is a great compound movement that we as wheelchair users can accomplish. All right, shake that out. Whew. Let's make sure we're getting some water. Staying hydrated. All right, guys. Really, really appreciate that. When the music starts, we're going to start our cool down stretching. So, for the most part, you've made it. We just got to get through our cool down and chug some water here. But I really appreciate you guys sticking with me and working hard for, over 40 minutes now. So, great job. And, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know the things that you don't enjoy. We'll have the poll after the class, like Liz said. But, we're very open to feedback, and this is a very fluid thing that can change as you make requests. So just let us know what works for you. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and, reshare it on social media for us. Let's get more people involved. The more people we get in here, the easier it is for us to make more of them. So if you're enjoying it, please let people know about it. All right. Last round here. I don't know about you guys, but that lower back really got challenged. So let's go ahead and lean forward. Exhale, get all that air out of your lungs. As I feel myself deflate, my chest gets closer to my knees and I kind of sink down around my legs. And if you can, bring yourself forward. I'm pulling against my legs to give me a little extra stretch in my lower back. Make sure you're breathing nice and deep. And then we're always being mindful that we're coming up really slow. We don't want to get lightheaded. All right, let's open that chest up. And I'm doing what I'm not supposed to do. I'm getting a little lightheaded here. I apologize. That's the automatic dog feeder going off. But let's just open that chest up, take some breaths. I'm going to let my blood pressure recover. All right, stretch that out or shake that out. Let's pull that right arm across the front. You can always tell when I'm getting a little low blood pressure because I get a little extra stupid. Not that, I know I'm already a little behind the curve, so to say, but I struggle with my words when I get low with the blood pressure. When I get low with the blood pressure, that kind of wording will let you know I'm low. All right, let's switch. All right, coming back. I feel it coming back. All right. Let's do some shoulder rolls going forward. Really just trying to make as big of a circle as you can with your shoulder. Feeling that stretch. And let's reverse the rotation. All right. Let's get that arm up over the top. Oh, there we go. All right. And then the other side here. Nice little stretch. All right. That is the first one of this format. So Liz will have a poll for everyone here. Hang around if you want to help answer some questions. And I hope to see you all and some of your friends next week. Thank you very much for joining. Yeah, thank you very much for joining us. Reach out to me, Positively Paralyzed, on Facebook. Instagram is where I'm most active, but I respond to all the messages on there. So if you have any feedback, you can always give it to me on there. And like I said, if you like the class and you're on social media, please share it. So we'll see you next week.